Dear students, today we will discuss service area approach to rural lending, differential rate of interest and priority sector lending. The service area approach introduced in April 1989 for planned and orderly development of rural and semi-urban areas was applicable to all scheduled commercial banks including regional rural banks. Under service area approach, each bank branch in rural and semi-urban area was designated to serve an area of 15 to 25 villages, and the branch was responsible for meeting the needs of bank credit of its service area. By late 80s, studies undertaken by RBI to assess the impact of bank credit in increasing production, productivity and income level of the rural population revealed certain weakness in the system of dispensation of rural credit, which the rural lending of bank branches was haphazard and dispersed in a large number of villages spread over a wide area, rendering supervision difficult. Absence of effective local level planning taking into account the potential for development, poor availability of infrastructure and linkage, etc. were identified as the contributory factors. It was therefore felt necessary to adopt an approach of assessing specific service area to the bank branches in rural and semi-urban areas, paving the way for service area approach to rural lending. Service area approach basically aimed at planned and orderly development of an identified command area, which would enable the branch to have development orientation and concentrate on productive lending, thereby contributing to the development of specific area assigned to it. The Union Finance Minister in his budget speech for the year 1988-89 has also referred to the proposed dispensation under which each bank branch would have a designated service area. In order to examine the operational aspects involved in the implementation of this approach, a committee under the chairmanship of Dr. P.D. Ojha was set up by the Reserve Bank. On the basis of the recommendation of the committee, a decentralized planning policy was adopted and service area approach to rural lending was introduced with effect from April 1, 1989, involving 5 distinct stages in its implementation. First of all, identification of the service area for each bank branch, survey of the villages in service area for assessing the potential for lending for different activities and identification of beneficiaries for assistance, prepare of credit plans of an annual basis for the service area by each branch, and coordination between credit institutions on the one hand and field level development agencies on the other on an ongoing basis for the effective implementation of credit plans, and continuous system of monitoring the progress in the implementation of the plans and individual schemes. The service area approach scheme, which was introduced in 1989, was reviewed in December 2004 as there are many criticisms that scheme consumes many restrictive provisions. In the review, it was decided to dispense with the restrictive provisions of the scheme, such as villagers need to contact specific bank branch for their credit needs. The following decisions was taken by RBI, and accordingly banks were directed to follow the revised service area approach. As per revised service area approach guidelines, borrowers have the choice of approaching any branch for their credit requirements, and it was decided to dispense with the restrictive provisions of the scheme while retaining the positive features of the service area approach, such as credit planning and monitoring of the credit preference. Accordingly, under service area approach, the allocation of villages among the rural and semi-urban branches of banks were made not applicable for lending except under government-sponsored schemes. Thus, while the commercial banks and regional rural banks are free to lend in any rural and semi-urban area, the borrowers have the choice of approaching any branch of their credit requirement. The commercial bank or regional rural banks are also free to lend to any borrowers of any rural and semi-urban areas except under government-sponsored schemes where scheme itself provides for obtaining of no dues certificates. Banks were further directed to dispense with the procedure of obtaining no dues certificate from other bank or financing institutions for all type of loans, including loans under government-sponsored schemes except where scheme itself provided for obtaining of no dues certificate. What are the objectives of service area approach? The primary objectives of service area approach was to increase productive lending and forge effective linkage between bank credit, production, productivity and increase in income levels. The service area approach scheme was reviewed from time to time and appropriate changes were made in the scheme to make it more effective. What are the functions of service area approach? The concept of service area approach related to providing rural credit to accomplish the task of providing credit to millions of farmers, particularly small farmers, rural artisans, weaker sections. The multi-agency approach was felt necessary. The provisions of affordable financial service to the rural population has been a prime component of developing strategy for several decades. Governments, development agencies and other donors have supported various agriculture or rural financial institutions to accelerate the rate of growth and alleviate poverty, especially in rural areas. Financing development in rural areas where majority of the poor in developing countries lives is one of the most pressing concern of government. The rural sector in developing would not only generate employment, income and foreign exchange from agriculture and of farm rural activities, but also provide markets, labor and raw materials input to manufacturing and other urban industries. Priority sector credit today lacks focus and rationality. Anti-poverty program provisions of financial services to the poor and unprivileged go top priority. Further efforts are required to address the credit needs of the poor, like giving assistance by housing loans, educational loans, software including retail trade, export credit, food and agro processing, etc. by enhancing support to trading community. The above approach to rural lending was intended to bring about a major change in the quality and productivity of rural lending and forge effective linkage between bank credit, production and increase in income levels. The basic principle of service area approach was demarcation of service area and preparation of credit plans for systematic administration of credit in the assigned area. Under the service area approach, all rural and semi-urban branches of commercial banks and regional rural banks were allocated specific number of villages, about 15 to 25 villages, generally in geographical contiguous areas and proximity to the branch concerned, the credit needs of which were to be taken care of by respective service area branches. It was also be ensured that the designated area of a bank branch was not intercepted by the designated area of another bank branch. The service area were allocated to the branch by a committee headed by the lead district officer of the Reserve Bank of India with lead bank officers of the district and representative of NABARD as member. In multi-agency approaches and different schemes in agriculture finance, one scheme is differential rate of interest scheme, that is DRI. On the recommendation of RBI committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.K. Hazare, the Ministry of Finance and the Government of India introduced all the public sector commercial banks to introduce differential rate of interest scheme. All the commercial banks under public sector implemented DIR scheme since 1975, and private sector banks also volunteered to participate in the scheme from 1977 onwards. The scheme was originally implemented at selected bank branches in 265 backward districts of the country, and later on the scheme was extended to cover all parts of the country. Under DIR scheme, loans are being extended to the weaker section of the society who do not possess tangible assets to put as security as a concessional rate of 4% per annum. The differential interest rate loans are covered by Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation of India. Under DIR scheme, the loans are extended to marginal farmers and agricultural laborers, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes engaged in agriculture, peoples having rural industries and cottage industries, hoteliers, rickshaw pullers, cobblers, basket makers, carpenters, physically challenged persons, orphans, and indigent students having higher education, etc. From 1981 onwards, the banks were allocated to give their advance under DIR scheme through RRB in their area of operation or refinance basis, and these advances will be kept under lending account of their respective sponsoring banks only. The nationalized banks provide loans to poor people, including persons with disabilities and the institutions working for PWD, orphanage, women, etc., who desire to engage themselves in the productive activities of gainful business at the very nominal rate of interest. There is provision that all nationalized banks should try their level best to provide at least 1% DRI loan to total credit amount. Government of India had formulated in March 1972 a scheme for extending financial assistance at the concessional rate of interest at the rate of 4% to selected low-income groups for productive endeavors, initially by public sector banks and then by private sector banks also. The scheme known as differential rate of interest is now being implemented by all scheduled commercial banks. In this connection, it has been clarified by the Ministry of Finance that the revised eligibility income criteria of Rs 24,000 for urban areas under the DRI scheme is also applicable to semi-urban areas. What are the eligible criteria for DRI? That is, preferably between 18 to 55 years, qualification no essential, income should belong to BPL category, applicants' land holding should not exceed beyond 1 acre irrigated and 2.5 acre non-irrigated, should not be defaulter. Reserve Bank of India on 10th April 2000 has notified the borrower with annual family income of Rs 80,000 in rural areas and 24,000 in urban areas will now be eligible to avail of the facilities as against the earlier annual income criteria of 6,400 in rural areas and 7,200 in urban areas fixed by the Government of India in 1986. This scheme is direct finance schemes of nationalized bank and does not require any recommendation sponsoring from any authority. So the eligible person should apply in the prescribed form along with the required documents as stated above. Repayment period for each scheme or project is specified in the sanction letter. The loan normally is to be repaid within a maximum period of 5 years including moratorium period. Thank you.